Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your #1 source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
Band from Ringside. Tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast, Bo Dallas makes his big return. An outstanding week of WWE television. Your Forbidden Door predictions. And Toru Yano is officially eliminated from the 2024 Great One Climax Tournament. That and a whole bunch more tonight to the Band from Ringside podcast.
Hashtag fuck Yano.
I watched the match. I watched the Yano match. I knew it was the last one I was going to get. Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Mark. So welcome to the Band from Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Jacob Fatu Brute. And sitting directly across from me, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
She got a electric boots, a Corvia suit. I read it in a magazine. Beefer and the Jets. I'm sorry, Reba. Beefer and the Jets. On that lovely note, I'll ask the congregation to bow their heads as I read from the latest edition of the Band from Ringside podcast, of the Band from Ringside podcast, volume 365, chapter 3, verse 14, and the good smart saith, hashtag boo the heels. It's all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat, the holy trinity of BFR. It's going to be an interesting pod, baby. I'm strapped up. We're ready to go. Kick it over to that west side.
How are we ever going to know if you're actually having a stroke? And out there in Portland, Oregon,
I'll probably be dead.
We have Jason out there in Portland, Oregon. We are off the rails already. Out there in Portland, Oregon, making his triumphant return. We have Two Beers, Zach Pullman. What's going on, Two Beers, Zach?
BFR Western House.
Let me talk to you.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And all the people say, spit on that thing.
And sitting to my right, we have Vice. What's going on, Vice?
I've been talking to Zach all week. We've been texting back and forth, and I was very curious what he was going to do tonight, and he just leaned forward, took both hands, and just hot two, and spat McAfee right on that info.
We are coming at you from beautiful St. Charles, Missouri. It's Welcome Back Zach Week. We have not had him for 2 weeks. I don't know if you've listened, Zach. I don't know if you've enjoyed the takes.
I did. You know, it's very funny. You find out what other people think about you whenever you're a fly on the wall and you're not there. For instance, I found out Jason thinks that I love Saraya. I think the only thing that this might stem from was me defending her winning the title at Wembley, because I was like comparing her to British Bulldog, which might be like a weird comparison, but when you think about how much they both love crack cocaine, and it makes a lot more sense.
Anything else? Did I drop any nuggets or anything? Was it just Jason and the Saraya?
No. It was all good. It's very fun. It's not as fun seeing on the podcast, but it's fun listening on the next day, because I have no idea what's going to be said. So,
like I said, we're coming at you from beautiful St. Charles, Missouri.
She got electric boots. Go her suit. You know, I read it in a magazine. Oh.
Do you want to do the whole beginning over?
No, I'm done. No, I'm good. I'm good. I've just purged it out. I feel better now.
Plenty to get to. Two, spit on that thing. Let's get to that 3 count.
That's going to be the BFR 365 hot 2 spit on that thing.
JCB, what's the 1 count? Kick us off.
We're going to go into the WWE's portion of the program, and obviously, first things first, we're going to start with SmackDown and the debut of Jacob Fatu. Obviously, this is someone that we've been talking about, someone rumored to be coming into WWE. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, apparently he dropped 35 pounds for this debut, looking leaner, looking meaner, and just had a tremendous booking, just super, super strong. So let's just jump into it. Obviously, the main event for SmackDown was Cody versus Solo Sikoa. Fuckery ensues. You have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton coming out on the babyface side, beating down the heels to the point where they have Solo Sikoa cornered in the corner, and for one of the first times, and this is me watching it without spoilers, no nothing. I'm watching it unfold, and I'm watching Solo Sikoa back into the corner and begging off, kind of very Ric Flair-esque. And I'm thinking to myself, I've never seen this before. This is weird. Something is just not right. And then all of a sudden he starts laughing, and then all hell breaks loose. Obviously, Jacob Fatu comes in, super kicks Cody Rhodes, super kicks Orton. He eats a super kick from Kevin Owens and then super kicks him back and basically destroys anything and all things in his path. So let's just jump to the chase. People are talking, one of the things that people are talking about is at the end, after Jacob Fatu destroys everyone in his path, is the bloodline. You know, everybody puts their fingers up and you see Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa kind of look at each other, unsure, but ultimately falling in line. Some people are suggesting, maybe even inferring, that they don't like the fact that Jacob Fatu is there. For me, the way I took it was that this motherfucker is so unhinged that now you don't know what's going to happen going forward. Clearly, he just destroyed 3 of the top guys in WWE, including the World Heavyweight Champion. So at that point, there is something to be said about this. Kind of looks like Solo Sikoa when he first walked in the door. But we can talk about that in a second. I'll let you guys speak on it. For me, this was well worth the wait. Jacob Fatu came in like gangbusters and looked as such.
Zach, what'd you think?
I don't see how anybody couldn't like this. I mean, it was a great debut. He looked awesome. He's got a lot of presence. Watched him in MLW, and he there was kind of a big fish in a small pond, and he's going to shine on this stage, and it just makes sense that he would be in this storyline and in this angle. And they introduced him strong, and I think the only concern that anybody should have, and it's not even a concern really, like, I think he's going to outshine everybody in the bloodline, at least until Roman gets back, just because he's just got like kind of this like magnetism about him, where like Solo's kind of cool and collected, like Fatu's just he's full of charisma.
Well, let me ask you this. I'll defer to you guys, but I'll admit I've never watched MLW. I've never laid eyes on this man before. You know, I've heard the name a lot.
He and Alexander Hammerstone were basically the 2 top guys in MLW.
I know Hammerstone from his TNA run.
Okay.
Or maybe he had a cup of coffee in TNA or something. He was on the last pay-per-view. He had a
he's been in TNA for, I would guess, like 6 months now at this point.
But
he and Josh Alexander.
Jacob Fatu, I mean, what kind of worker is he, Zach?
I mean, he is just all around, like, he's a superb worker. He really kind of can be that powerhouse. He's a pretty big guy, but like he also, like, he'll fly off the top rope. He'll brawl. You know, he's pretty versatile dude.
And what is his relationship to Umaga? He looks a lot like Umaga. Is it his nephew? It's not his kid, right?
I don't think
I think if I say the name correctly, Zila Fatu is Umaga's son, and supposedly he's on deck.
He is the son of. He's on deck.
No, look, I'm dead ass serious. You know, supposedly on his Instagram, he basically said, "I'm coming, I'm next," something along those lines, to where if Hikuleu is basically, you know, in the batter's box, as far as I'm concerned, we're just waiting for him. But then after Hikuleu, apparently this motherfucker's coming in.
Wikipedia says he is the son of Sam Fatu and the nephew of both Rikishi and Umaga. So, listen, this was badass. This is how you introduce somebody. They continue to hit home runs with the bloodline. I mean, at a certain point, introducing new guy after new guy after new guy. This is 3 new guys since WrestleMania. Did Tama Tonga show up the SmackDown after WrestleMania?
Feels right, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay, so
he's post WrestleMania, but go ahead.
We've had 3 new guys. That's going to be eventually the law of diminishing returns starts coming into play. We like, I appreciate what they're doing, but saying that there's another guy on deck and then we know the Hikuleu, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum here. I'm just saying that's a lot of new guys, a lot of new Samoan guys that to the undiscerning white eye might be kind of tough to keep them apart.
Fuck.
Yeah, but like Bill said, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Just bring them all. I want the bloodline. I want to have 20. I want to bring every Samoan. Like, bring the guy from Moana.
Yeah,
everybody.
That's The Rock. He's already been here. He was at WrestleMania.
I'm talking about both of them. Just bring up the made-up guys.
I'm talking about the animated character.
Yes, I want him there in CG, walking Roman Reigns down. I want all the Samoans.
That's amazing.
Eventually, I mean,
all the Bomoans.
They're working up to like an all bloodline War Games match or something, right?
And we were discussing this beforehand, post WrestleMania. The rumors were going around, and obviously we can fast forward to this point. If you stop the tape right now, you have obviously the heels on one side, but we still need to have Jimmy come back. You need to have Roman come back. You know, a lot of the big dominoes on the babyface side need to fall before we talk about a Survivor Series War Games.
At this point, how many Samoans are actually left on the island?
Shit. That's what I was
Like,
saying.
they're all signed by WWE.
I was about to say, they got kids, right? I mean, damn.
Dude, there's going to be so many.
They are going to be a rotating Samoan, Tongan bloodline angle for decades if they wanted to do it.
That's how you introduce them, though. What was next?
Let's jump up to the top of SmackDown, because obviously SmackDown coming from Chicago, Illinois, and that being the home of one CM Punk. CM Punk coming out to essentially troll Drew McIntyre for foiling his Clash of the Castle moment, obviously spoiling his WrestleMania moment as well. We did see a part of the backstage where he did not snatch the shirt, but got the shirt from Jessica McKay, I believe her name is. If in kayfabe style, Jessica McKay should be getting suspended, fined of some sort for giving CM Punk the referee's shirt to foil Drew McIntyre. Okay, let's just call it for what it is. She didn't have to give it to him. Yeah. She gave it up.
Yeah, I know.
And willingly did so.
He didn't ask for the shirt in a vacuum. No. It was during the Drew McIntyre match. Like, she's clearly aware of why she's
what's going on
and what the main event is.
Right. And you want this shirt? Why? Okay, just like I thought. So obviously, Drew McIntyre gets screwed. Like I said last week, I love the whole just eruption from Drew McIntyre post-match from getting screwed. You now have CM Punk basically calling Drew McIntyre out. And now, in a little bit of a twist, because I was expecting Drew here, you got the bloodline. I'm sorry, you had Paul Heyman come out, which was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't know why they waited this long, but God damn it, I'm glad they did it, because it was the perfect. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, oh, "You're kidding me! Oh, this is going to be amazing!" So Paul Heyman comes out.
It was kind of like oh yeah,
oh yeah.
Okay.
Outside, take Roman away, take Brock away. This is where it all started. The Summer of Punk, one of my favorite. And I know CM Punk has gotten ran down on this podcast. I'm one of the big motherfuckers that done it. But this angle, the Summer of Punk angle, one of my favorite WWE angles in the Vince McMahon era. Neither here nor there. Obviously, you have Paul Heyman come out, a nice little emotional moment. But ultimately, Paul Heyman is coming out to tell him that CM Punk needs to get out of Dodge in his own hometown because the bloodline is a-coming. CM Punk ain't having that. You know he's not having it. And as soon as he's getting ready to say it's not going to happen, enter the bloodline. So the bloodline starts to come out. Cody Rhodes comes out with a couple of bats, scares the bloodline off. Ultimately, this segment to kick off SmackDown, nice bookends from beginning and on the end. The beginning of SmackDown was not even confrontation, but an interaction that I didn't think that we would see, but we should have seen it. But now we saw it. As much as I want to run down Triple H, and I'll probably do it at some point, this was perfect. You couldn't have Yeah, because I'm sure it will come up. It's something small, not even big. It's the same thing like I talk about AEW, but we'll get to that.
All right.
In this scenario, this segment, you couldn't have asked it for anything perfect. I would have never thought that Paul Heyman came out, and when he came out, it just all melted like dominoes.
How'd you like the segment, Zach?
That was really good. This was a really good episode of SmackDown, like front to back. Really great segments to open it up. You got a lot of big stars doing a lot of interesting things. And, yeah, man, Heyman is great on screen.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even, when Heyman came out, like I said, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, now we're going to get Heyman and Punk. I enjoyed all of this. I especially, jumping ahead a little bit, I especially loved how they set it up with Punk talking about how he's basically invincible in Chicago. Nobody can fuck with him in Chicago. And then Drew McIntyre showing up halfway through the show and incapacitating him. So, listen, that's good storytelling. You have Drew quit on Monday, and then Drew is not really quitting, and he came out this Monday and was kind of like, you guys got work that easily? He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you guys?
I mean, his employee card still worked.
Clearly, he got into the damn building. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, good shit, though.
He didn't even take a week off like he's normally a Raw guy.
And Zach took 2.
Snap.
Yeah, no, but Drew McIntyre actually worked extra.
Oh, no.
He did, though.
He did.
He did. He showed up on
He
SmackDown.
did an extra show.
Vice makes a good point, something I've kind of beat over the head about Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman at one point asking CM Punk, take me with you. I can't be with this. Once again, reinforcing even this, and this is pre-Jacob Fatu, how crazy he thinks this.
But here's the thing that I don't understand in kayfabe is that if Paul Heyman's out there asking CM Punk that in front of the crowd, then why is Solo even keeping him around? It's just like, get the fuck out of here. Why don't they beat his ass? Because they're scared of Roman? They ain't acting scared of Roman. He told him this episode Roman ain't coming back.
Right. So in kayfabe style, this is why you keep Paul Heyman. At least this is my opinion. There's no better example of force than having someone being held captive against their will but still staying there, and that's Paul Heyman. He is a sympathetic babyface. Now the question is Paul Heyman a true sympathetic babyface, or will some point down the line he put the knife in to Solo Sikoa, to Roman Reigns, fill in the blank? Paul Heyman is so pivotal in how the bloodline is going to move at some point. He's going to be a fulcrum. At some point, Paul Heyman either is going to get worked by this current bloodline, or he turns on said current bloodline and joins Roman Reigns.
Yep. He's the only white guy involved.
Yeah, I think he's probably going
welcome
to
JCB's world.
I think he'll be like a victim for a good while, and then he'll be the one to bring Reigns back to a big babyface reaction.
I mean, Reigns is going to be huge when he comes back. His entrance is going to last a fucking week.
Pretty much.
What else happened?
Beyond, let's just go down the card. Bianca and Jade meet post-match, or before Bianca's triple threat match. I just got to stop here for 30 seconds. I wish they would have, if you're going to have the women's tag team championships, just establish them at some point versus doing this random, let's give it to whomever you want to give it to. Otherwise, just don't have them. Okay?
Hey.
Sorry. Thank you.
Can I answer?
Please.
They don't care about them. So
why have it?
You gotta resolve yourself to the fact that they don't care about them.
Fair. Cody, Randy, KO meet backstage. Cody tells Randy and KO, I got this. Y'all guys can stay in the back. You guys got other things to worry about. I'm shaking my head right there. I was like I said, before I even saw it, I knew right there, mistake. Spell it capitalize it. You can put it in italics if you want to. Big ass mistake. Bianca versus Michin versus Chelsea in a triple threat match. Winner goes on to Money in the Bank. Chelsea Green pulls off the win in the same fashion as the Clash in the Castle match. So no problem with Chelsea winning. This is just me.
Not at all.
No, zero problem with it. Michin doesn't. Nobody cares about you. I love you, but God bless you. Nobody cares about you. Bianca, she's over. This is what I said last week. If you're going to have matches like this, you need them to be a springboard for the Chelsea Greens of the world to possibly move up and go up to the next level.
I mean,
the only problem with
next segment was Blair Davenport. That's another person.
Okay,
you know?
Bingo. So more so to my point, we haven't seen her since, she's been drafted. Dijak's on, all of a sudden just getting the boot from WWE. They're not even trying to, even negotiate with them. So why do you have another story for another time? I'm sure we can get to that in a second. I guess my point is this. I wish they wouldn't have did it the way they did it, like Clash of the Castle, but no problem with Chelsea Green going over in this match.
Zach's been waiting 3 weeks to talk. Zach, what do you think?
No, what match did Chelsea Green go over in?
It was Chelsea versus Bianca Belair versus Michin for to get in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, so they're that was kind of a surprise, but they've been doing some surprises with these Money in the Bank qualifiers. I'm kind of into it. It makes it so that it's not predictable. Chelsea Green, literally always loses. That's like her job at WWE is to be hot and lose. So her winning here was pretty cool.
Yeah. Jason?
DIY and Grayson Waller confront each other backstage. I guess this is more so into the Austin Theory face turn. Dare I say, Grayson Waller lean into the heel more so. I always thought that Grayson Waller was somebody from NXT that I wanted to be a heel and be a heel solo. You have his own show, so that's kind of like his platform or whatever the case may be. Maybe this is the time that he and Grayson Waller drop the titles to DIY or whomever the case may be, and they break up. We'll see here in a little bit. Obviously, we talked about Drew McIntyre dropping CM Punk like a bad habit, dragging him to dropping him to the floor, and then walking off into the sunset. Amazing, just the theatric of seeing the gate come up or the door come up, and you just see Punk just laid out with Drew McIntyre laid over him. WWE once again. Just amazing with production, the cinematic of it, the whole 9 yards. Go ahead, Vice.
Dude, the fact that he carried him all the way to the stage from back there.
No joke.
And didn't even take a pause.
No joke.
It was a really muscular alpha move.
Three
He
beer.
had to carry CM Punk and the fucking chip on his shoulder. That had to be
He sounds like Tony Khan.
Oh, no. I was about to say, Tony Khan can't carry CM Punk and the chip. It's got to be one or the other. He's skinny like me. Triple threat on the men's side, Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga versus Carmelo Hayes. I was thinking to myself, God damn, Braun Breaker is over here killing it on Raw. What's going on with Carmelo Hayes? Carmelo Hayes is just kind of in the background, just, feuding with LA Knight, but not really feuding with LA Knight, came on the scene, a couple of hot matches, but not necessarily doing anything. Aha! Carmelo Hayes gets the win here. He's on the way to Money in the Bank, rolling up, I believe it was Randy Orton for the dub. To me, neither here nor there. It was more so about Randy Orton and Tama Tonga, Carmelo Hayes sneaking in and finally getting his chance. So, I'll just ask the panel. Obviously, Braun Breaker is on the rise. Are we worried about Carmelo Hayes early?
Not at all. No. He's getting plenty of TV time. He's going to be in the Money in the Bank. I don't see him winning Money in the Bank, but I see him having a good showing. He's just a different character. I don't want to see them introduce Carmelo Hayes the same way they're introducing Braun Breaker, nor can they. I mean, Carmelo Hayes is a little guy, and if you're going to have a guy that little be a heel, he's got to be kind of a weasel. And his character is smarmy, little cocky, little fucking prick. nobody on this deck knows anything about that. So you guys don't know which one I'm talking about, do you? So
I absolutely do.
Hey.
So no, not at all. This men's Money in the Bank is shaping up to be an exciting field of potential winners, and I'm very, very invested in this Money in the Bank match because it can go a lot of different ways.
3-Beer, what do you think?
Yeah, it's another way of, like, I would consider this an upset, but also I fully expect Carmelo Hayes to be bragging about having a win over Randy Orton, even though it was in a 3-way, and, rolling him up. But, yeah, Carmelo is in the Money in the Bank. He's newer to the roster. I agree with Bill. They shouldn't be introduced the same way. And him being in the Money in the Bank at this juncture is cool. And that's the kind of representation that you want in the Money in the Bank. You want you usually have a general indication, but they tend to surprise us pretty often. But you need some young up-and-comers in there because that's pretty fun.
Listen,
otherwise, they wouldn't normally have that shot.
If you would have went back in time and told this podcast in January of 2024, so just 5.5-6 months ago, that at Money in the Bank of 2024, Carmelo Hayes is going to be in the Money in the Bank match and Braun Breaker is going to be in a match for the Intercontinental title, you would have been like, fuck yes. That's exactly where those two guys should be in 5 months.
Okay, so
yeah,
this is my point on.
That's like best case scenario, really.
Okay, so Triple H, I was looking on Facebook this week, and MVP was on Instagram saying how Triple H shot down the Hurt Business reunion and is basically shutting down men of color in wrestling, a la Vince McMahon. So now here's Carmelo Hayes now obviously getting his chance. So I guess I'm not even saying this is my rant, but here's my question. Is this the chance for Carmelo Hayes to get over because he can get over, or is Triple H going to use Carmelo Hayes to prove everybody wrong?
I don't think that Triple H is going to pay attention to that sort of criticism at all. Do you feel the criticism is justified? Go ahead.
Had a lot to. I was MVP had a lot to say on.
Zach, did you see it?
Replying, I did. I saw it. It was somebody on Reddit compiled all of his comments because he was replying to all kinds of people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can answer Bill's question as the resident person of color on our podcast. Do you feel?
Do you feel like validity?
Your opinion has more weight.
I got it.
Yeah, thanks, Vice.
Depending on the week.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess ultimately, do you think the better question is the MVP credible? If you take him for what his word is, he basically said he went to Triple H, he wanted to get the Hurt Business back together, and Triple H said no. So at that point,
I feel like MVP's opinion is skewed because of his own myopic lens of the Hurt Business specifically.
Yes,
that's my opinion of it.
Really, I mean, a Hurt Business reunion. If they were going to bring the Hurt Business back now, it's okay, well then you really got to do something with them if you're going to bring them back, because bringing them back to be in the mid card,
it's not going to work. Motherfuckers will not. No. It's now I think that ship is sailed.
If you bring him back and make him the new Judgment Day, if Judgment Day breaks up and then you bring back the Hurt Business, and now
that's
you got
that's the Wyatts.
Yeah, I have. We'll get to the Wyatt part here in a second. I don't think they're going to be having any sex drama, sex soap opera in the Wyatts.
You don't.
Maybe
it's early, man. It's 2 weeks.
Maybe Triple H also doesn't want to pigeonhole racial groups outside of the Latinx together, but they have
and the literal bloodline.
And the literal bloodline. But that is kind of their gimmick. But if you look at Judgment Day, which seems like it was kind of more of his stables, that's a very diverse stable. I like that. And also the Chad Gable stable, the Alpha Academy, is a very diverse stable. I mean, that's cooler to me than a group of white and/or black and/or Latinos, folks. Bloodline's bloodline because they're.
Is Shelton Benjamin still? He's not still with the company, right?
I'm pretty sure he got released.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, if they wanted to bring back MVP Lashley and put him with the Street Profits, I'm all right with that.
I don't think people would go for that.
Isn't Benjamin like trading shifts with Apollo Crews?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jeez,
okay, let's move along. God damn it.
Somewhere.
See, we were getting somewhere, and this motherfucker came on in and started clowning.
We can't do Shelton Benjamin like that. That dude is a fucking legend.
Thank you. That dude is good shit.
Yeah,
that motherfucker walked the ladder, for Christ's sake. I watched it happen.
Exactly. They got a windows cleaning company or something.
Okay,
no.
Moving on. LA Knight.
Benjamin, too buku. He's too buku.
What the motherfucker?
To buku my ass. You shouldn't be saying that.
I should be saying it. I'm mad I didn't say it. LA Knight looking for Logan Paul runs into Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar pissed off because he's overlooking he and others on the way to Logan Paul and Money in the Bank. Logan Paul attacks ultimately LA Knight from behind. Once again, I believe this is going to be a SummerSlam match. We are at least... It feels like, once again, we're building to that. KO versus Andrade versus Grayson Waller, the aforementioned. And another Bill Vagey triple threat match. Winner goes on to Money in the Bank. Andrade gets the surprising win. It almost felt like guys that I was like, what's happening with this guy? What's happening with this guy? And then this guy comes out and he moves along. Andrade's somebody that I think that has been not even necessarily held back, but just kind of booked not right, don't want to play ball, whatever words you want to use in the mouth, so be it. Obviously, the guy has talent. This is a great opportunity to remind motherfuckers that he does have talent. Andrade on the way to Money in the Bank.
Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, he'll be good in that match. I think that's a perfect spot for him on the Money in the Bank card, for sure.
You know what's weird is that Tony Khan gets all this shit, and I don't mean to make the comparison all the time. I don't want to do that.
You have to.
Tony Khan gets all this shit for being a mark, but Triple H is the OG mark, and it seems like there's no question about that. There's no question that Triple H likes himself some Triple H.
Yes.
But he is. I thought
I like me some me.
I like every single decision that they've made with the Money in the Bank. I like the Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn decision. We're gonna get to the Wyatt thing here in a second. Like he is booking like a mark who has been in the game, no pun intended, for a much longer time, and he kind of gets it because he is putting.
Well played.
Listen, these are the right three guys to be in the match. I love this match. I thought this was really great, really fun. I think Grayson Waller is a really fun wrestler.
Yeah, for sure.
And the right guy went over. I was happy with all of it.
Yeah. No, I was genuinely surprised. I thought Grayson Waller was going to be the guy that goes over to more separate him and Austin Theory, neither here nor there. Then obviously,
I mean, just having Andrade in that match, I was like, fuck yeah. He
the
might
speed
go over.
champion. Look at him.
Is he the speed champion?
Yeah.
And Grayson Waller can be on the card so that he can come out, do the Grayson Waller show, and everybody can go take a piss or whatever, and like.
How dare you?
He still will get. Well, that's a perfect opportunity. Like he can get on the card. Andrade can't unless he's at a match.
The truth is, when I'm at any event, I just piss when my body tells me to, which is quite a bit.
I do like to have the aisle seat whenever possible.
It is all the time.
I'll say if I've had a couple cocktails, you want me to have the aisle seat. Let's jump over to Raw. Obviously, Drew McIntyre opens up Monday Night Raw, crowing his victory lap, having CM Punk's bracelets with his wife and dog's name, Larry. Jesus, we haven't talked about Larry in a hot minute. I hope Larry's doing okay, got the teeth back, the whole 9 yards. For me, this was another just log in a hot-ass fire. I don't think and I'm assuming this is going to be SummerSlam because obviously Drew McIntyre has a triple threat match. He goes to, we can just talk about this now, he goes to Adam Pearce demanding the match. He should actually not even demand the match, demanding he should be in Money in the Bank. Adam Pearce books this match. But two things. Number one, Drew McIntyre, when he was interacting with Adam Pearce, he's absolutely right. I mean, everything he said, even though he's the heel, he's right.
That's kind of his whole gimmick for like the last, 8-9 months.
Yeah, no matter how he reacts to it, if you look at it as the neutral observer, Drew McIntyre has a bunch of points. And the fact
he's a dickhead who's always right. Doesn't remind me of anybody else on this deck.
Everybody's raising their hand. But the second point,
I'm not. I'm cool as a fan. I'm never wrong.
The second part.
No, it's me, guys. I was the dickhead that's always right. Go ahead.
The second part with the bracelet adds another layer of personal dig. Now, CM Punk cost Drew McIntyre the title in front of his family. Now I'm going to take your bracelet. So now, like, the ante keeps getting up and up and up. Whenever their match is, this cannot be a regular step match. There has to be, I'm sorry, I know you hate it, last man standing or something. I don't care what it is. Cage, Rage in the Cage, whatever. It cannot be a regular match. It has gone too far, too fast. Not even too fast, just too far.
I am going to say something here that is going to sound like a hot take, but it is not. This is the best the WWE has ever been. There is so much shit going on both shows, so many balls in the air, and all of it is good. We got Money in the Bank match coming up. We got Gunther getting ready to fight Rollins, and we got Gunther coming up for SummerSlam. We got Cody hot as fuck. Roman Reigns and The Rock could come back at any time. We got this outstanding Drew versus Punk feud that just keeps ramping up and ramping up. It is not peaked yet, and when it peaks, it's going to be their match, and it's going to be fucking awesome. We have, can't wait to talk about the Wyatts. We have Liv Morgan, who's good. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley are not on television right now. The shit is good.
Yeah, Reigns isn't even on television.
I know. It's fucking unbelievable how good they are right now.
Okay. All right, Three Beer. Is this the best that you've seen WWE since you watched it? Start, stop, whatever the case may be.
I mean, as far as like top to bottom, like whenever you talk about the card, and yeah, and also like popularity wise, it's the most in a very long time popularity wise. And as far as like the promotion just feeling hot, like they could almost do no wrong. Like it was fantastic in 97, 98. But there was like when you had those high highs, which were the highest they've ever been, you had some very low lows. A lot of that attitude stuff was garbage.
Right.
Like
when you think about the best previous time in WWE, you're thinking Stone Cold, you're thinking The Rock, you're thinking Foley. Angle comes in a little bit later. Jericho.
Right.
The McMahons.
Right.
Triple H. Taker, Kane.
Loaded roster.
Yeah. There was
top of the card was great.
There was Too Cool also. There was the Godfather. There was Val Venus.
True.
But then you also had Right to Censor. So I mean, who's to really say?
Yeah. Getting ready to say, who am I to judge?
I didn't even mention Logan Paul. I mean, Logan Paul is lighting the shit on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as good creatively as WWE has ever been.
I'll go that far.
And Cody's the best babyface since. I mean, I guess Cena was a big babyface, but Cena had a lot of mixed reactions. Like he wasn't like universally beloved. Like he's the best babyface since Stone Cold. He's in the Stone Cold like Hulk Hogan realm of babyfaces.
I agree.
I will have a hot take for you, and this is related to the Drew stuff that you were talking about. This is my early prediction. I think Drew wins that Money in the Bank, and I think he tries to cash in and CM Punk fucks him again to build heat for that match and cause him to lose his cash in. And because they usually have somebody cash in early, either the man or the woman, relatively quickly after winning the briefcase. And I could see that as a pretty good plot device to just add even more heat to this already very hot feud.
Go ahead.
I was thinking about that. I was in my head. Punk comes out during the match and costs McIntyre the briefcase. Somebody else wins it.
They can do that too.
Doesn't
They can do that
McIntyre
too.
have to face Dragunov next week for a
He's
spot?
got it's a triple threat match. I can't think of what it is, but
Punk could also screw him there.
right. So I mean, I think.
Zach's way would garner the most heat.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Motherfuckers would lose their mind. Okay,
They really would.
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it can't happen. In my head, I didn't even go there. In my head, I see Drew going up for the briefcase, and then Punk coming from fill in the blank and undercutting the ladder, and then Drew touches it but can't get there. If we're going on the way that Drew McIntyre has been losing and the pattern he's been losing, the Zach way is the perfect way because it would make sense. It follows the pattern.
I mean, that's the best option that I can think of.
Oh, my God.
That would be better than Andrade or Carmelo Hayes winning it.
Yeah, just to see that unfold, to be like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I'm with Drew at this point in the CM Punk Drew McIntyre feud. I'm team Drew all day every day. Fuck CM Punk.
Well, yeah.
Kick his ass.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I just had to put that out there. You keep talking about the Wyatts, so let's talk. I'll let you talk about the Wyatts. Obviously, Bo Dallas and I'll guess Uncle Howdy have a sit-down interview of sorts where Uncle Howdy is asking Bo Dallas questions, pertinent questions.
Been waiting to talk about this.
I know you have. Do you think you are taking advantage of your brother's past legacy, so on and so forth? You've been chomping at the bit. I'll let you take it.
And I've been shitting on the Wyatt return.
Yes, keep spooky out of my wrestling.
And I have been. And Jinder Mahal texted us Monday night. He was like, this Wyatt shit is lame. And I know that was before the Bo Dallas part started. That was when Nikki Cross came out and it was all fucking...
she left the
videotape.
Videotape. It was kind of like Seven type shit.
That shit does suck. I agree with Jinder Mahal. I do not like that spooky shit. I'm on record. The videotape with Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy asking him questions, I got to say, when I first saw it, I was like, that's kind of hokey. And then when they showed it was going to be Bo Dallas, I was like, oh, okay. I thought that Bo Dallas playing Uncle Howdy was incredible. I was shocked that they went that directly at, do you think that you're, how are you doing since the loss? And then saying, don't you think that you're exploiting your brother's legacy? And for Bo Dallas to address that in his first appearance on screen.
I didn't see that one coming.
Since his brother died. But probably since like a year and a half before that, too. Like, He hasn't been on WWE television in a while. I was absolutely blown away by his performance. And I know that it's a shoot, I know that that's real. But this is like... To me, this was so compelling. I watched it 3 times.
I watched it twice.
I thought it was fucking amazing. And this is what's so wild about professional wrestling, is because professional wrestling is the only thing that exists in art where you can take a real-life tragedy, do something as weird as having a bunch of spooky guys show up in masks.
Right.
And then the next week actually answer the real question. I mean, it's a real question.
Yes.
Do you feel like you're exploiting your brother's legacy?
Yes.
And his answer was, I'm not going to let him turn into a mausoleum. I was like, God fucking damn.
Okay.
That's as real as shit has ever been.
Okay, yeah, that was
on wrestling.
Yeah,
and I found it amazing.
I've been on, Go ahead, Zach. What did you think about this? I'm assuming you watched it. Yeah.
And next week they're gonna come out and do some card tricks or something. But like,
fuck it all up.
What you think about it, Zach?
The first week I was gonna reserve judgment because the debut, right, of the White Stick, I was like, that's cool. Did
you think that Chad Gable was shot?
I didn't think he was shot, but it was pretty gruesome. It was pretty gruesome for WWE, like the blood splatter. That was pretty.
Like
pretty
if you got hit
gruesome,
with like a screwdriver.
Yeah, like it looked like you got hit with like hammers and shit, and just like it was pretty wild. But I was like, I'll reserve judgment on this. You know, it's only 1 week. Let's see what the follow up is. And then I kind of felt the same way watching Raw, where I was like, I don't love this Nikki Cross thing. It was like, it just kind of screamed like Alexa Bliss whenever she was with them. But like Bill said, so I'm watching this actually just earlier today. I'm watching it. I'm downstairs. I'm on my computer working. My son is in his bedroom, like right off of our living room downstairs, or like our family room, with his girlfriend. And I'm like, if they come out here and ask what I'm watching, I'm going to have to explain that this is a man who is dressed as a character, that he's also interviewing himself as a real person who is also a character about the real life death of his brother, who also played two different people on television. And like Bill said, there is no other art form in which this kind of concoction can exist and be compelling and be like legitimately good storytelling, just enhanced by the real life aspect of it. So I love that part. I will not love, you know, them turning lights on and off and stuff. Like, I don't mind the editing, like kind of like, you know, that kind of interesting editing that they're doing. But, you know, if they book all of those guys and gal, like Nikki Cross, if they book them all like The Fiend and they're all like unstoppable monsters, that's going to suck. Because it sucked when they were doing it with one guy, and he killed a lot of baby faces. He ruined Seth Rollins for like almost 2 years. Seth Rollins, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And, I mean, that ruined him for a solid at least a year, but maybe 18 months.
All I could think was, why isn't the Wyatt Six being introduced just like this? Like, and yeah. I know,
yeah.
If it just would have been Bo Dallas sitting down being interviewed by Uncle Howdy, like all of a sudden somebody shows up and there's a weird tape and then it's that, then I wouldn't have to deal with, you know, watching fucking smoke in the ring and having somebody crawl around with a mask on.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to suspend disbelief enough to think that they could find a VCR that quickly.
Nigga. Okay. they said VCR. I was like, what? I'm like, who in the fuck in 2024 has got a goddamn VCR in the back, readily accessible?
80% of the crowd had no idea what the fuck that
they were
was.
talking about. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, dude, don't get me wrong. I agree with everything what you guys said.
I know who's got the VCR. It was Road Dogg because he likes his porn vintage.
You ain't shit.
It reminds me of somebody else on this deck.
He's got a VCR on the tour bus.
I'm sitting right here. Chad Gable obviously making
We were able to procure Road Dogg's VCR.
Chad Gable making his triumphant return after the beatdown last week, coming in with security. He ultimately has a match after being cleared by medical. He gets a triple threat match. Himself, Bronson Reed, and Braun Strowman in a triple threat match. Obviously, Judgment Day takes out Braun Strowman, and Chad Gable gets the moonsault for the victory. Chad Gable, obviously, at this point, I think it's safe to say he's been re-signed with WWE, obviously going into Money in the Bank, kind of like what you said earlier. This is probably one guy that feels like he could get where he needs to go without Money in the Bank, but having it wouldn't be a bad thing. Having him with
Hunter listens to the podcast, and he knew that the Beefer was called the Chad Gable Underused Wrestler of the Year.
I got you on that.
Thing is, he still might win this year. Who knows?
Obviously, we saw Chad Gable go backstage and get shot down again by Otis and Alpha Academy, and the Creeds and Ivy now came up subsequently after where Chad Gable needs help. So I'll let you guys take it from there. You could talk about the match. You could talk about the upcoming Team Gable reunion, not even reunion, but faction.
Go ahead.
I am way into a Creed, Ivy Nile, Gable, like, stable.
Big time.
I was thinking to myself, I like the fact that we now have women representation. I was even, when the bloodline was still kind of on the way up, even when they were on top, Naomi was someone that I thought was an easy shoe-in. You just had to figure out.
Tubuku.
You just had to figure out how you could write Naomi into the book. You ain't shit. You had to figure out.
It's true though. she's not the same. She's not Samoan. She's not Tongan.
Isn't Nia
She's not Polynesian.
Isn't Nia Jax Samoan?
Yes.
Yes.
So is Tamina.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of the same thing, but to me, Naomi would have been the perfect one because she was a big-time babyface, neither here nor there.
Okay.
And doing that, too. In this scenario, I love the fact that Team Gable feels like it's going to have Ivy now involved in it. You're going to have, even currently composed, Judgment Day has Rhea Ripley. LWO has Zelina Vega. So, the fact I love factions aside, the fact that you have at least one woman in at least all of these factions running around just adds another layer of storytelling that you can add any given time you want. I don't necessarily want to see Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan for the title, but you have it, and it makes sense.
She reminded you that
Just in case you go to Puerto Rico.
True.
She reminded you that, she's really good on the mic.
She cooked Liv Morgan on Monday night.
Yeah, she was great.
She filleted that poor girl. I was like, God damn, stop.
I mean, she used to be on the mic all the time with Andrade.
All the time, yep.
So, I mean...
You ain't shit.
All right, what else?
Braun Breaker and Ludwig Kaiser have a match. Ludwig Kaiser calling Braun Breaker Braun Strowman beforehand. I had to get a little giggle off that. But ultimately, this match ends in a DQ because Sheamus comes in, dragging out Ludwig Kaiser. Big-ass scrum comes out of it. It almost feels like Braun Breaker
I heard Kaiser got hurt.
He did get hurt. I haven't seen the details of it yet or how long he's going to be out. Hopefully it's not long because Ludwig Kaiser.
That's bad timing.
Yeah, dude, you said exactly what I was thinking. Feels like he's just getting ready to be on the ascend. A feud with Sheamus to start would be a good way to go. Obviously, I think he would go over, and then you can go from there.
Yeah, he would.
Money in the Bank might have been.
Sheamus is. We're nearing the end.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he talks about it.
Yeah, IC title, and then that's it. From that point, he can ride off to the sunset. But ultimately, this leads into Braun Breaker demanding an IC title match versus Sami Zayn, which Adam Pearce agrees to. So we will have Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for
match.
the Intercontinental Championship. I'm not even going to ask for the predictions.
They should put it on Breaker.
There you go. I was going to ask for odds on it. Odds on.
What are the odds that Zach says no, Sami should win? They're
50-50.
Low. No,
I'll go 50-50.
They're low. Zach, who do you think should win?
Braun Breaker.
Yeah. I would have put that shit 90-10. Yeah, but
if I could pick one babyface guy, it's like I feel like Sami Zayn has Cody Rhodes babyface potential, but yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I agree. Who do you think should win, Jason?
A part of me thinks that it's almost a little too early. This just happened at WrestleMania.
What about the thinking part? Who do you think's going to win?
Goddamn, it's hard to deny Braun Breaker at this point. I mean, I get it. Especially if Gunther wins the title, then I definitely get it. Sami Zayn's freed up to go after Gunther. Neither here nor there.
Yeah, I don't ever think there's a too early unless somebody's not ready. Then there's a too early, but otherwise, I don't like the whole
Okay, well then,
got to pay your dues, got to spend some time.
Then let's answer the next question, and we can move
you
on.
Need to transfer the heat from Gunther.
Is Braun Breaker ready for the Intercontinental Championship right now?
Fuck yes.
3 Beer, is he ready?
Absolutely.
Okay. Next
Absolutely.
up,
I like Braun Breaker so much because he even knows how his character would knock on Adam Pearce's door, which is a really hard knock.
Sound like the motherfucking police to me. Shit,
his knock was really funny.
Lyra Valkyria versus Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. Another Bill Vagey triple threat. Winner goes on to Money in the Bank.
Hunter's been listening.
Lyra Valkyrie goes over. Not a big surprise.
The right move again.
Yeah, it felt. I was thinking that as the match was going on. You had the Drew Adam Pearce segment. Liv and Selena Vega have their segment. Like I said, if you haven't seen this segment, this is one of Selena Vega's best talking segments in a hot minute. She just filleted poor Liv Morgan. I just felt bad for her for a hot minute. We talked about Chad Gable winning. Talked about Chad Gable seeing Otis in the back getting the boot. Who is this? Oh, Isla Dawn and Albert Fire versus Katana Chance and Katana Chance and did I say that? Did I mix these two?
Carter.
Kaden Carter. Thank you. The champs win, but then get beat down by Damage Control. So why do we have them win? If you're gonna have the champs win
to pop the crowd on the night where McIntyre
and then they win
lose.
And then get beat down by Damage Control. I mean, what the fuck? Don't you want to keep your champs strong?
Don't question Triple H.
Yes, sir. Finn, I'm sorry. Finn and Damian Priest have a little beef backstage.
I believe in Paul.
Fair enough.
Dune 3.
Seth Rollins.
He's that damn good.
He's good. He's good. Seth Rollins and Damian Priest have their segment. So obviously now we have a stip for their title match. If Seth Rollins wins, Damian Priest has to leave Judgment Day. If Damian Priest wins, Seth Rollins cannot challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship as long as Damian Priest is the champion. Same, I'll let you talk about the segment and what you think possibly could happen. We'll go with 3 Beer first.
For what? I'm sorry.
Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, and then Gunther.
Oh yeah.
Butting in.
Oh, Dak.
I don't think they would put it back on Rollins. I think Priest going over Rollins just like would solidify his reign a little bit more in order to build him up as an even stronger champion for somebody like Gunther. I do think that Gunther should have that thing sooner rather than later. I think Priest is doing a really good job. I think he's really I don't know maybe Bill said this or Jason said this like last week or the week before, but he's really kind of stepped up to the role where at first when they put it on him, I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like him. I was like, but I don't know if he's like top guy like material, and he's really turned himself in like by being on the microphone every week, and he's really shown up and been that guy, and he puts on good matches. So but I do think he's not like a super long-term champion, so I want that thing on Gunther. I think that's very compelling, where every pay-per-view you get a title match with Gunther. That's dope.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. If Damian Priest goes over and you get Priest Gunther at SummerSlam with the idea that Gunther is going over, then who does Seth Rollins face at SummerSlam?
Because I guess you probably you would have Punk and Drew as a singles match. I do think they're going to get to Punk Seth eventually. And sooner rather than later. But who would you have? Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, who would you have Seth face? I don't know, Cody?
No.
I guess they're not on the same brand.
I was going to say Cody's going to have Solo on.
Yeah.
I honestly, and this ain't a knock against Seth, but this could be a time where Seth can just sit this one out.
Take the night out. Yeah.
You think Seth's not going to fight at SummerSlam?
Okay, let's just.
I guess it is. Is it 2 nights this year?
No,
it's just one. It's just one. So let's break it down. So you got the 2 title matches. Cody's title match versus Solo. You're gonna have Damian Priest versus or Damian Priest
Gunther.
/ whomever versus Gunther. You're gonna have a U.S. title match. Logan Paul versus L.A. Knight. Intercontinental match, Braun versus Sammy. That's 4 matches right there.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Where there's no dance partner for Seth Rollins at this point. And the dance partner for Seth are the 2 guys that are going to wrestle, and that's Drew and CM Punk. That's 5 matches right there off the bat. It's no knock against Seth. It's none.
I think SummerSlam is also going to be Braun versus Sammy. Whatever happens at Money in the Bank, I think SummerSlam is going to be a rematch.
Fair.
Because I was thinking, well, maybe you have Seth go for the IC, and then it's like, wait a minute, then you're leaving. Then Sammy's left off the card.
No,
you got to think Chad Gable's going to get a match. You got to yeah. I mean, that's a lot of matches.
What they're not going to run Braun and Sammy back. Ultimately, that's where I was getting at. You said it, and I was just thinking it. Whoever Braun is probably going to win, and then you run it back.
Yeah.
Big match on a big stage.
Yep.
No problem with that. Seth just doesn't have a dance partner, and that's okay. The great part about
not for his pocketbook.
He's fine, motherfucker. I'll say I want to hear that bullshit.
Yeah, well, maybe he doesn't fight. Maybe he just jumps into something.
Yeah,
and we start a new feud.
Completely fair. You can see that. I can totally see that too.
He's not a character that would interfere at this point. Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I mean, he would never turn heel.
Say that to Roman Reigns, motherfucker.
We've never seen that at all.
Yeah, I was going to say Roman Reigns has just entered the chat. Karrion Kross beats Kofi.
Actually,
go ahead.
That would be, and granted, he's not going to be there. Seth Roman would be pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it crossed my mind, but they'd have to get there pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it's
Roman don't do anything quick.
I don't see him returning until SummerSlam at the earliest moment.
No, I was going to say Survivor Series. I was going to go that far, and I think that's being at least to me, that's being generous.
He'll be back before Survivor Series. He'll be back SummerSlam at the latest.
Okay, we'll see.
I think he might be back tomorrow night.
Yeah, right. Kross beats
They're having
Kofi
some sort
Kingston.
of acknowledge ceremony or
yeah,
something, right?
that's for Solo, motherfucker. Damn.
Yeah,
dude,
it's time for him to come back.
Hey, we still got like another hour on the podcast.
I'm
he might be
trying.
back tonight.
I'm trying.
He might be back tonight.
I'll tell you what, if he's showing up tomorrow night, he already started his entrance.
You don't.
He's just walking from the airport real slow. Couple lays around his neck. Heyman standing next to him down the highway.
Heyman crying next to him. What you mean stand next to him? You kidding me? That'll be the greatest thing since Christmas for Paul Heyman if Roman Reigns came back tomorrow night. You fucking kidding me? Kross beats Kofi Kingston. I'll let you guys decide if Xavier Woods is going heel. I say yes. And then obviously the main event, Judgment Day, with the help of Liv Morgan, defeats Awesome Truth for the tag team titles. Liv Morgan obviously interweaved in this segment throughout, flirting with Dom, having the Zelina Vega interaction, and then ultimately setting this match up to where she costs Truth the tag team titles as Miz is sitting on commentary watching this shit unfold. Are we thinking this is the start of a new Judgment Day, or is Judgment Day breaking up?
I think Judgment Day is breaking up. It's at least they're giving me a story every single week. You know, I'm into it.
Are they breaking up?
Weekly television. Yeah, they will eventually. I think there will be a rift. I mean, actually, it could like. So this is something else I was thinking about. So bear with me here. I like the idea of Rhea being the glue, and basically Judgment Day is becoming more unhinged, and Liv is like kind of splintering the group, inserting herself in, causing a lot of tension. This is a very fun idea that I was thinking about. What if, whenever they do kind of like come to blows or things get bad enough where it seems like they're going to split up, Rhea comes back. That's whenever she comes back and re-debuts, and she beats the shit out of the men and just like establishes dominance. Like,
that's what I said last week.
You said that?
Yes, that's exactly what I said last week. That's exactly what I said. I said it should be Finn Balor versus Damian Priest at SummerSlam, and it ends in the DQ, and Rhea comes back, destroys them both because out of revenge for breaking up the Judgment Day.
Man, you gotta listen to
I thought I was so original.
No,
I had it on. I was listening to it.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Hit the button. That's where you hit the button.
Unprofessional bullshit.
I thought I was so good too. I'm just a hack.
Listen, you were good
until then.
You were good talking about my idea. That's real good. I like it. I agree with that. Give this man the pencil.
Hey, way to come back and give Bill that big hand job.
Yeah, right. Dude, yeah. I'm right here, man. Give me a little
That's
steal.
Good enough
Jesus.
for a 1 count. Let's get to that 2 count.
I'm just like Dane Cook telling Louis C.K. jokes.
Yeah.
Carlos Mencia over here.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, what's the 2 count?
2 count. We could talk about some AEW stuff. We've got a pay-per-view coming up. A good chunk of AEW for the week. The way I would break it down, Rampage and Collision, mostly skippable outside of a few matches or segments. Dynamite was a pretty go-home show as far as go-home shows go and before pay-per-view. So just running it down real quick. If you did not watch Rampage, really, I think the most interesting thing on there, we had the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Women's Quarterfinal, Serena Deeb and Willow Nightingale. And Willow advances in the tournament. So that was pretty interesting. She won last year, so I kind of thought it'd be more advantageous for Deeb to go over her, especially since Deeb just lost in a title match.
They're done with Deeb.
It seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, even that promo she cut was kind of sad.
Are you talking about AEW or like Dave and Buster's?
Jesus
Applebee's.
Christ. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
like-
man.
Willow Nightingale won the Owen Hart last year?
Okay, see,
She did.
you stole my thunder. Yeah, she did. And another guy, who won the men's side?
Bro, I do not know.
No, not Adam Cole. It was
Adam Cole
he
won the first one.
Yeah.
Vice, got a guess?
No.
3 beer?
I'm trying to think, but no, because it didn't matter. It was just that one night thing.
It
They never mattered.
It wasn't Orange Cassidy.
Nope.
Roddy Strong?
No.
Matt Menard.
That was a good-
Unfortunately,
that was a good guess.
Definitely Matt Menard.
Think of somebody that's had a couple of angles that have been stopped and started for various
Miro?
reasons. No.
Matt Menard.
Who? Who? Come on, who?
Ricky Starks.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot about him.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
my point.
They had. Oh, remember they had like was it Jushin Thunder Liger like present it to him, and like they flew Jushin Thunder Liger like all the way across the country, and like Ricky just snatched the belt from him and like fucking walked off like a dickhead.
Circle gets the square. Tell him what he's won, Johnny. Where the fuck?
I can't believe I forgot about that.
Here's my question: if you're gonna have like House of Black basically job out to, well, in this case specifically, Aleister Black job out to Edge, why can't Ricky Starks at least come back and defend, and I'm using this in quotes, defend the Owen Hart tournament win that he had last year?
I would guess that the only reason that he's not back is either A, health, or B, something that has nothing to do with booking.
The motherfucker ain't wrestled in God knows how long, Bill.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's because he's hanging out at WWE all the time. Him and Cody are boys. He's going to WWE. He's going to be in the bloodline. Small-a-tonga.
Smallest Tonga.
You ain't shit. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, to me, I guess that's my point. Ricky Starks should be at least in the tournament, for God's sakes. You got a wild card, and you don't have the defending champion from the year before, and he's contracted and healthy. Tell it how you want
I
to
don't
tell
know.
it.
There's only 2 people that know why Ricky Starks ain't on TV, and one of them's Ricky Starks, maybe, and the other one's Tony Khan. So
There you go. Like I said,
Maybe.
Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong
he
with my
might
life.
not know either. He might not know either. But yeah, I love how the Owen Hart women's quarterfinal turned into like an Aleister Black jobbing to Edge, and Ricky Starks is not on television. I love how that went.
Willow Nightingale, man. Damn, follow the bouncing ball.
I know. It was just very funny. But we did have a TNT ladder match qualifier as well, which was 2 of the fastest wrestlers. Well, I guess Leo Rush is really on the roster. But Leo Rush versus Action Andretti. This was super fun. Leo Rush is going to the TNT ladder match, which sounds awesome. He is a great guy to have in a ladder match. So I don't know what is going to happen with Leo Rush. Talk about stops and starts, you know, as far as the career goes. But we'll take him while we got him.
No
It's a lot
shit.
of fun.
No, I like the fact that Leo's in this match and the fact that it's a ladder match. You know, you're going to have motherfuckers all over the place. They at least gave the explanation between him and Dante Martin and Action Andretti last week, a couple weeks ago. So you have that going for him. But Dante and Leo will be a side a story to the ladder match. Go ahead, Vice.
I mean, if I'm being honest,
Yeah, be honest.
I would rather see Leo Rush in the ring than on the challenge.
Nigga, come on, man. Why you got to bring up old shit?
Hey, banned from the challenge. Hey, I'm just talking about our other AM station, banned from the challenge.
I'd say Leo did last, a month? If even that, your boy was gone.
And I had such high hopes for him. I'm like, he's gonna do some shit.
Yeah, I thought as a
and
wrestler.
Then, like, the second elimination, he's gone, and I'm like, man, Leo, you're not doing me any favors.
He didn't have it.
Stop. Go ahead, Three Bear. You can take control of your two-part.
This is not a highlight, but it is very funny that we had the Iron Savages. We had Jack Jameson cutting a promo on Christian Cage. Like, that's talking about this collision seemed like a Mad Lib at points, but. Yeah, I just wanted to call that out. That I think is very funny. Plus, I just love the names Bulk Bronson, Beefcake Boulder, and Jack Jameson. I love it so much.
I am becoming an Iron. Did I send you guys the text, or did I just think it where I was going to put Iron Savages better than the Acclaimed? I sent that.
No, you didn't say that, but you were talking about the Iron Savages. You know, if you just sent that text about the Acclaimed, I'd have had to chime in at some point. I mean, Jesus Christ.
No, I think I was going to text Iron Savages and then is greater than the Acclaimed.
No.
Dude, he called Christian a low-T loser.
Dude. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, that is great stuff.
If this is going to be your jobber faction, so be it. Just let them talk. Let them talk their shit. Let them come out and get their ass whipped. But just let them be on the mic.
There's honor in that. There's dignity in that.
Let them come on the mic and talk that tall shit before they get their heads whacked off. That's all I ask.
This was, speaking of Mad Lib, this was the culmination of probably a 30-year storyline in professional wrestling, which is my hatred for Jeff Jarrett as a wrestling character, culminating in me wanting him to win the Owen Hart Cup more than anything in life. Like, I can't believe that he is not going to be headlining Wembley after this amazing promo.
I got one word for you. SAWFT. So.
Oh man, he was incredible. That was an incredible promo.
All bullshit aside, I was like, I caught myself like, damn, is this Jeff Jarrett actually like talking to me? For 30 seconds, he had me. And then I realized.
When's the last time you went back and watched the Over the Edge pay-per-view where Owen died? Have you ever gone back and watched it?
Hell no.
I have. And Jeff Jarrett is clearly the one. He's the one that has to cut a promo right after they find out. I think he's fighting China.
Sounds about right. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was fighting. I think he had a match with China, and they announced that Owen was dead, and Jeff Jarrett had to cut a backstage promo immediately after getting this news. And it is like it's terrible. The guy.
I can only imagine.
The guy is going through it, and he's just spitting out this stupid promo about hitting China with a guitar or something. And it, like, you can tell the guy is dying inside. It's terrible. I mean, I bought, and I've always remembered that. And I bought that. Man, I was emotionally affected by that vignette.
If you didn't, even my cold black heart was like, okay, he can win a match. He can't win it all, but he can win a
I'll tell you what. Wrestling is also the only other art form in the world where that happens. Where Jeff Jarrett's got to cut a promo before going to fake fight a woman.
We're going to clean up this blood.
Right after his best friend dies.
Right. We're going to clean up this blood, but just, can you cut this promo? We need 2 minutes.
Did you see the sign on Collision that the guy held up that said professional wrestling and ska are the only 2 real forms of art?
Yeah, I did see that.
I did not see
Oh my
that.
God.
That's
Hunter
goddamn
Thompson said that the only two true American art forms were jazz and pro wrestling. I love that.
I like him already.
Moves to the beat of jazz. Yes.
At the after party.
This promo, though, fantastic. It is a bummer because Jeff Jarrett is facing the wild card, who I presume is someone interesting and someone who's probably going to go pretty far in this tournament. So basically, he cut this amazing promo to lose in the first round. Is the vibe that I'm getting. So I don't know. Like, they kind of booked themselves in a corner here, like making the Owen Hart Cup the thing that headlines Wembley. Like, I get wanting to make it more prestigious. We just talked about how it didn't matter before because nobody remembered who it was because it didn't matter. It was just a tournament. And now, though, I'm just like, well, goddamn, this guy should win the Owen Hart Cup. But you can't have Jeff Jarrett have Brian Wembley. So anyway, I think my favorite text message that I got this week was Bill asking Joey if he watched Hechicero versus Daddy Magic. Oh man, what a terrible match too. He dumped him right on his fucking head and then kicked him in the head, and it was just never good after that. He felt like it was just not good.
No. Hard watch, man. That is just like Jesus. I don't want to fast forward, but I kind of want to fast forward. Hard night at the office for Daddy Magic, to say the least.
This was also the collision, besides being the best Jeff Jarrett promo you've ever seen, this also had the best Brian Cage match you've ever seen and the worst Kazuchika Okada match you've ever seen. So this was...
Oh, yeah. It's Okada versus Ultimo Guerrero. Hey. What is Tony Khan doing, man?
They're both fantastic wrestlers. Like, you know that they can have a good match, but like, so I don't know if you guys, this is what when I was listening to Observer Radio, basically, so Ultimo Guerrero retired his mask like 10 years ago. Like, he lost his mask, and like, for whatever reason, when he showed up at the stadium to wrestle, they're like, "Where's your mask?" And he's like, "Yeah, I lost it 10 years ago. I haven't wrestled a mask in 10 years." And they're like, "Well, you need a mask." And so they made him a mask, and it kept falling off in the match. And so he was so concerned about his mask falling off, and the whole spot at the end was that Okada was going to tear the mask off anyway, but it like fell off constantly during the match anyway.
The Rainmaker, the mask basically falls off. You saw his face.
Yeah. And then they had like a terrible match because of the mask thing that shouldn't have mattered anyway. Like,
but
Ultimo Guerrero and Okada could have had a good match. And also, this was a TV taping. They could have just done it over, but they did not. So this is terrible.
I mean, here's the thing. Why is Okada? Why if you have Okada, why is he fighting Ultimo Guerrero in the middle of Collision for no fucking reason? Like, maybe Okada asked for it. Maybe he's like a massive Ultimo Guerrero fan or something, like tape trading days and shit. But what the fuck is Okada doing wrestling on Collision against Ultimo Guerrero? What's the best case scenario there? What kind of booking is that?
They could have had it. They could have had a good match. I mean, it's Forbidden Door.
They could have had a good match, but to what end?
I'm not like defending it. I'm just kind of explaining. They've been doing this because of Forbidden Door. They've got 100 guys on the roster that they're actively saying that they don't have on TV. But like the past 3 weeks, because of Forbidden Door, they're bringing in, like a whole menagerie.
There's two things that we know about Forbidden Door for sure. this is our third one, right? Is
Yes.
that the pay-per-view is going to rip, and the build to it is awful. Just awful. They don't know how to do it.
It's pretty consistently true every year.
I'll just say this, and you can go on, Three Beer, just on the build to Forbidden Door. I think part of the problem is, well, two parts of the problem now. The biggest problem is the New Japan talent is AEW talent, so Forbidden Door doesn't feel like Forbidden Door. This feels more like an AEW pay-per-view with New Japan guys sprinkled in here and there, CMLL, whatever the case may be. The second part, I just don't think that there's a clear, booking for Okada now.
I mean, there are a couple matches on this card.
Specifically, just Okada. Well, yeah, but we can get to that. Specifically for Okada, you have him. So now what? What are you going to do? I mean, to me, he shouldn't be a Continental Classic champion. To me, that feels like the International Championship. Whatever. One of the others. Okada and Ospreay shouldn't be those two champions. One should be that champion. The other should be chasing the champion.
Yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
So now at this point, that's to me is the problem with just Okada specifically. This feels beneath him versus what I've seen before in the past.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing something different with him than we expected. And I don't mind him having that Continental belt. Him having it, can lend some prestige to the belt just because there's so many belts that nobody gives a shit about belts anyway. So at least, I don't know, it gives them something, but it is that we're getting character heel Okada, and we're not getting. I'm
no problem with the heel part. The character part, love it. Giggle every time he cuts motherfuckers off.
Shut up, bitches.
That being said, I'm kind of looking for a little more from the booking part of Okada, where it's title or bust. Why are we not chasing Swerve?
Will Ospreay Brian Cage was the tits though.
Okay, that I agree with. Brian Cage, that's going to be my beefer candidate for most underrated. You talking about that motherfucker needs to be in the G1. Let's not get that crazy, but he had a really fucking good match against Will Ospreay. Okay.
I mean, this was a pretty fucking weird episode of Collision. It also had House of Black cutting a promo backstage where the reporter asks them a question, and Aleister Black goes, "What a human question that is." And then Brody King says, "We feel nothing." And I'm like, who the fuck are these nerds? What a human question.
They're the baby faces now, okay?
Oh my God.
That's your baby faces.
What is that?
It's like I'm getting robot legs done next week. That's cool.
I mean, sometimes
we're on the way out. That's all we got.
Sometimes you gotta. I mean, you can let the wrestlers use their own ideas, of course, but sometimes you gotta rein them in a little bit. That what a human question. It's like, oh, this motherfucker doesn't think he's human.
Clearly not, motherfucker.
Fucking trenchcoat mafia nerd. Come on.
No.
He does seem like he's like an edgy 13-year-old in a grown-up's body.
Yeah.
Like, that was paid enough to get enough tattoos.
Right. And Brody King was the fat kid.
Oh, no. God damn. You ain't shit, dog, man.
Saying, I didn't know that was that bad. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
he shaped up fine.
There are fireworks going off right now, and they have absolutely nothing to do with Will.
Exactly.
No, they're applauding my take.
But yeah, I mean, as far as Ospreay, he does have a title. He's going towards the title. You can't have, eventually we'll probably get there with Okada. He's a top of the card guy, but he can only work so many programs at once. Otherwise, it gets pretty convoluted. So they're planting seeds for. Right now WWE's more organized than AEW as far as who you can the slots and the programs and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean you've got one challenger facing for one belt and then a guy in the background. That tends to be I mean, that's what AEW's got going on right now too. And like, not everybody can be at the top of the card and like chasing the main title at all the time.
Okay,
people got to take a back seat every now and then.
Okay, so I'll ask you this question. Obviously, we got Swerve and Will Ospreay for the title coming up. Who's the guy in the background that's next on deck to get the winner of Swerve versus Ospreay?
MJF.
Okay.
And he's their biggest draw, and it makes sense.
Is that
I wouldn't put MJF. I wouldn't put Okada over MJF in that spot just because Okada's Okada.
Okay,
he's not a bigger draw than MJF is.
Okay, so on that same vein, so I'm assuming in your world, MJF main events Wembley Stadium as the champion.
Not as the champion, because it's the pay-per-view after Forbidden Door. So I could see him being the challenger, or not the challenger for Wembley, because that's going to be the Owen Hart thing, which is, again, annoying that they did that. I think it'll be Danielson versus Swerve, or maybe the wild card Adam Page, and they do Adam Page versus Swerve
Okay.
at Wembley. But
Okay.
MJF is definitely that guy, that third guy that's like behind this one. And Okada's just not, you can just tell the fans are behind Ospreay. They're into Ospreay. They like Okada. He's the worst heel in the world because everybody loves him. But like, he's just not, I would not put him in the world title picture at this juncture to this American audience. Like, I just wouldn't do it. I'd keep building him up for the year, let him come back, let Kenny come back. They can do their thing, and then after the Kenny thing, then you can put him in the world title picture. I think he's fine with that. But I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong.
You answered my question. You said Danielson, MJF, and then whomever else. So that's three guys that you threw out there. No problem with it.
Alrighty, we had Dynamite. So we talked about the shows that were not so good. This show was really good. I won't go through like the entire thing, but we just mentioned MJF. He kicked off the program and begins to do his Cut My Music. They're in New York. Another New York native comes out, and that's Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia puts on quite the promo show with MJF. They go back and forth. He says he's going to say some nice stuff about MJF, which is something that people don't normally do. MJF says go on. Garcia talks about a conversation they had where they were the back, and MJF said, I don't see you like they see you. I see you like I see myself as a pillar of AEW, which I can imagine like this being like a true, like a shoot story here. And Garcia also says that he pretty much shit the bed whenever he had his AEW World title match with MJF. And he's been going on to win matches, and he wants to be in that place. So I thought this was really good. I thought the crowd was really into MJF, as they always are, but I thought that he was able to transfer some of that heat, and Daniel Garcia was able to capture some of that positive heat in this before Ospreay comes out, who everybody is also very into. Then Ospreay kind of overshined both of them and said, I'll give you a shot at the world title, because he's already presuming that he's going to win it, which if I was Ospreay, I would be too, because I've been winning every other fucking thing. So this is pretty cool.
Daniel Garcia verges on corny, but doesn't get there, and it makes him very, very likable. I'm a big Daniel Garcia fan. I like his style in the ring. I like the energy that he has. I like his character. I like the dancing. So I was very cool with this segment, and MJF didn't bury him. He buried Hechicero, but he didn't bury Daniel
Nobody's
Garcia.
going to remember next year. I mean, let's be real for 30 seconds. Nobody's gonna remember MJF's match at Forbidden Door next year.
It seems so counterproductive for a guy with the tattoo of the company on his fucking body to sit there and just kind of shit on Forbidden Door, which is all he's done. I kind of feel like shitting on it too sometimes. You know,
I was just getting ready to say that. I'm
not asking him to be Tony Schiavone, where it's like, oh, this is the greatest card we've ever had. Oh, what a night! Oh, this Dynamite has been the most extreme Dynamite we've ever had. It's like, okay, Tony, all right, settle down.
He ain't lying, man. I was about to say, if he's tell him when he's telling lies.
Bang bang.
Okay, so I will agree with you on MJF. He did shit on Hechicero, but ultimately, is MJF gonna lose this match? Of course not. So I kind of get it. Not the way you
predictions.
Not the way you're supposed to do it, but ultimately, yeah, I understand. For me, the two things I took away from it was, once again another step up for Daniel Garcia. But like Three Beers said, Ospreay just basically, I'm going to be the champ type shit. I was just kind of like, whoa, damn.
When I thought he was saying that he was going to give him a shot at the other title.
He's basically saying, the way I took it, I'm beating Swerve, so when I beat Swerve, when I see you, next time I see you, we got both titles on the line. That to me was the slap against Swerve. The next segment was Swerve basically saying, hey, you already counting your chickens before you hatch. I told you can't have, you can't hold both worlds on both your shoulders. So for me, Ospreay is overlooking Swerve is the way I interpreted what he was saying when he was offering up a double title match to Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Yeah, good segment though to open the show.
Oh yeah.
And we had one thing I want to say, MJF is always working. So like whenever he is shitting on Forbidden Door, him shitting on a pay-per-view that he is not headlining, I just say I don't think he's above that. Typically, like he's just like he's a carny dude.
Yes.
So we had talk about Mad Libs, but this was awesome. We had the Blackpool Combat Club, which in this variation was Moxley, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta with Daniel Bryan on commentary versus LIJ, which that iteration was Shingo, Teton, and Hiromu. This was super fun. I would see any variation of these guys really at any time. I would love to watch it. But ended up, I forget who even won this match.
Nobody.
Nobody, so that's why. So it turned into a schmoz, and then Naito's music hit, and he brawled with Moxley out. So that's why I couldn't remember who won, because it just they threw it out, which is also very on brand for those guys. So I'm not mad about that either.
I like this match.
I liked it all the way up until the end.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
I guess that's the other thing about Forbidden Door, or the concept of it, is you have to introduce, quote unquote, once again in air quotations, guys like Naito, Shingo, people that are going to have, integral parts in whatever variation on the Forbidden Door card. I know I don't want to be like, you shouldn't have to, introduce them, because in my head, I watch it all, so you shouldn't have to introduce it, but you kind of have to. And that kind of takes away from the build. It's not like Ultimo Guerrero got his, package or whatever. So, for motherfuckers that didn't know, now you know. But it should be, it kind of has to be the same way for Naito, Shingo, Zack Sabre Jr., guys that, we think, well, I shouldn't say we think, I think everybody should know, but they don't know. Excalibur does a good job, explaining it, verbally, but there still has to be more to it. That's another reason why I think Forbidden Door doesn't feel like Forbidden Door.
Yeah, it's also just one of those things where anytime you have interpromotional stuff, like, it seems like there are fewer stakes, and there's always going to be like kind of a back and forth a give and take when it comes to the politics of like wins and losses and stuff. So inherently, it's cool because you get to see people wrestle that wouldn't normally wrestle. Although that's less, as Jason mentioned, less kind of forbidden than it was. But then like you see like the New Japan and Noah stuff. It's like a lot of those you get like a lot of mixed tags. The matches kind of go 50-50. It just takes a lot of the suspense out of it. But Forbidden Doors are always bangers once you watch them.
Yep.
So I'm still looking forward to wrestling this weekend. So, we had a quarterfinal in the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament. Jay White and Ray Phoenix. This is a great match. Super fun. Ray Phoenix looked fantastic, as he always does. I think the most interesting part about this was we had a ejection of the people from around the ring, so the Bang Bang Gang and them, and also Alex Abrahantes and Penta, and the crowd booed. It's like Taz is just like, what's going on? Like usually they pop for like ejections, like, which is true. Usually the crowd loves whenever people get ejected, but they didn't like that.
It was hot like a motherfucker.
The guns are over.
Yes, the guns are over.
Well, once Penta came up with the chair, I don't think the ref had much of an option at that point. Either you get control now, or you're never getting control.
What is Christian doing? Like, why is Christian coming out and why is he getting in the Bang Bang Gang's face? Like,
I think he recognizes that the guns need a father.
Stop.
Patriarch.
That's amazing. Well played. No, they called his shot. They called their shot last week. I thought that they were going after the trios titles. That's why they took out House of Black.
9 belts.
Yep.
Can you imagine them with 9 belts? Jesus Christ. Christian is
just wearing them all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's getting ready to say. Nobody. Actually, I take that
Michelin
back.
Man.
Actually, I take that back. Nick Wayne gets 1. Killswitch doesn't get any, and then Christian gets the other 8.
Yeah, but Christian wears them all, but never defends them.
No, he defends him. That's when Killswitch has to come in and actually, beat everybody up. Christian gets the pin. He gets the gory and wears 8 belts out again. That's just going to work. Watch.
Literally beat the Killswitch.
What's next?
Next we had Matthew and Nicholas Jackson backstage talking about how they are going to insert their very own wild card into the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. So that's what got me thinking that could be Adam Page. And he would, with the history of him and Swerve, could be a compelling main event. And also Swerve beat him like 3 times in a row. So is he going to beat him the 4th time? So I don't know. What do you guys think? Who do you think the wild card is or could be?
I think Hangman Page makes the most sense.
No, I said it last week. I agree. I guess my confusion was there's already a wild card. Said wild card wrestles Jeff Jarrett. The way that the Bucks made it sound like they were just going to enter their own wild card to be, in my head, a second wild card. Now, obviously, the first wild card hasn't been, revealed yet. If this is Adam Page, is this the Bucks pick? Is this the Tony Khan pick? That's where for me the confusion lies. I don't care who it is. Shit, if I gotta say it, it's Hangman Page. I'll go on record. But the way that they explained it left confusion, at least in my head, to where is there going to be one wild card or 2?
Yeah, I just assumed that they were talking about the one wild card, but
yep.
Who knows? We will see. And we had the Acclaim come out to talk shit about the Young Cucks, as they called them. Daddy S said he has friends in high places, and I thought he was referencing like Triple H, that he knew a president, but he was referencing Hiroshi Tanahashi, and so that's going to be at Forbidden Door. It'll be the Elite. The Scissor Ace is coming for the Elite. So, Jesus. I mean, if you got Tanahashi on the card, it can be in this, that's fine. Okada came out and said, "Scissor me, bitch."
I'm sorry. I don't care, man. Okada's just funny to me. Just funny. He says like 6 words. I laugh every time.
Can I just say that Max Caster calling them the Young Cucks is corny as fuck, and then Anthony Bowens calling them enema nozzles could be the corniest thing uttered on wrestling television in this century.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure we could dig up worse.
Oh, you know that the Iron Sheik back in the day said, "I'm gonna hot two on the flag." I said, that's the original hot two. Zach has it.
I was thinking Flavor of Love was the original, but yeah.
There could be worse things to say.
Sergeant Slaughter's in the background saying, "Spit on that thing."
Cheering him on.
Yeah.
The Acclaimed are the worst thing in wrestling right now.
Stop.
They are.
This
scissor ace thing kind of makes me mad.
I refuse. No. Hell no, dog. No. I ain't gonna let you ride like that. It is not the worst thing in wrestling. It is not. I'm sorry you don't like it.
I just picture him saying that. He's like wearing white sunglasses and cargo shorts and New Balance. He's like, those scissoring guys make me mad.
I'm wearing basketball shorts.
Right? Get it right.
The suburban dad as he flips a poorly cooked burger on a grill. Anyway,
just asking people how they like it cooked and cooking them all the exact same.
Exactly.
He got a big pair of And1s from Kohl's.
So we had the remarkable Renee Paquette backstage with Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy. They were doing round 2 of this. Yeah, the conglomerate. They were doing round 2 of this because the first week was so good. And then Kyle O'Reilly kind of just channeled Mark Briscoe in this one. It was okay.
Good bit.
Yeah, like it was kind of fun, but it seemed a little try hard. I really just Mark Briscoe is just a gem, and he's a national treasure. So
keep that man on TV.
Yeah. There was a trios match with Saraya, Anna Jay, and Harley Cameron, and this was really just to further the storyline with their opponents, which was Tony Storm, Mariah May, and Mina Shirakawa. Loved how Mariah came out with Tony and then went back into the tunnel and came out with Mina. That was super fun.
I'm riding the fence, goddammit. I love them both.
But Mina ended up hitting Saraya and pinned Harley after like a pile driver or something, and they were celebrating with glasses of champagne. Just the whole like thing with Mina being jealous, and she went to smack Tony on the head with the champagne bottle. Tony ducked. Mina hit Mariah over the head with it. It was like a whole smog. So I like this story. It's not like a big story. Like it's not like a layered story, but it's over. And it's given me just enough to kind of really see where this comes down is like where Mariah May falls with Mina or Tony. And I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to be super complex.
All 3 of them are playing their parts really well, and it's I don't really understand it. It's pretty silly, but it's good television.
For me, because obviously I watch Stardom, it's pretty easy, but that's just, it's not, no disrespect to you on that scenario. As former tag team champions, they have this bond. They were former
I get all that. It's just like it's just pretty silly.
No, Mina is not necessarily someone I take as a serious, top of the card contender. I take her for what she is at face value. She's gotten better over the course of time. like Three Beers said, it's basically Mariah's in the middle, and you have both, women tugging on her on either side. The biggest thing, like Three Beers said again, was when Mina hit Mariah over the head with
I'm tugging on something too.
I bet you are. When Mina hit Mariah over the head with the champagne bottle, that was the real first friction or tension, whatever word you want to use, that I was waiting for, where now it's like, okay, now we going to have Toni Storm show her ass. So in that scenario, I agree with Three Beard. The match was fine, but the post-match is ultimately the build for Forbidden Door, and now we have something where you can kind of sink your teeth into. There, you happy I gave it to you twice.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Mina's done a really good job of getting over with the American audience.
Ain't that
they're
hard?
into her. Yeah, I mean, it helps whenever the whole thing is just like a girl-on-girl lesbian action with the hottest girl in the promotion.
Yeah.
It ain't like Tony Khan reinvented the wheel on this one.
Zach, it is just like destroying my algorithm, even when I log in.
Mercedes was she had like this is like a pre-recorded thing, and that's really, she's a lot better on those than she is live. So
yeah, man,
just have her keep doing those.
They gave her a glass of Pinot Grigio.
Oh shit!
The Bill Cosby special.
They gotta keep
God!
They gotta keep her up.
Jericho came out with Big Bill and Brian Cage. Jericho's just I'm still enjoying the learning tree. Cody did like an interview. I think it was the same day. I think it like released like on Wednesday, and like a few hours later, Jericho came out and Cody said, "I always distrust whenever veterans come in and say that they're just there for the young guys." And Jericho like doesn't miss a beat. He comes out like 4 hours after this interview airs or hits the press, and he's like, "Listen, guys, everybody knows that I'm just here for the young guys."
And it worked. I totally rolled my eyes. I was just like, dude, god damn, I hate this motherfucker right now. Fucking, he listened to Cody's fucking interview. I hate him.
But the big thing here is that Suzuki is going to be their partner because Brian Keith is injured at Forbidden Door. So it's going to be Shibata, Hook, Joe, which is I love that team also.
I thought Suzuki was challenging Jericho for the FTW title.
No.
Oh, really?
No, he said he wants to. On Wikipedia, it says that it's Jericho, Big Bill, and Jeff Cobb versus Joe Hook and Shibata. That's what it says on Wikipedia.
Oh, I'm very confused though.
Yeah, it was confusing the way they did it because he says, I want to fight you for your FTW title, and then Joe came out and says, well, it looks like he just rejected you. It looks like you don't have a partner. Yeah, it was really confusing, and I had to look it up on Wikipedia. I was like, wait a minute, is Jericho fighting Suzuki at Forbidden Door?
That's what I thought the match was.
Nope, it's not on Wikipedia. It's got the Learning Tree and Jeff Cobb versus those three guys, which, can I say, everything's over with me right now. I like Joe, Hook, and Shibata together. I think that I like them as a trio. They're funny.
I mean, we're all acorns right now. We're learning and we're having fun.
No, you are. I say you can count. This acorn has been off this tree for a hot minute.
And we're all about to bust a nut.
Never mind. I ain't even gonna try it.
Is back. And he's like hot too.
I'm done. Go ahead.
I love, somebody put a compilation out there of Hook and Shibata adopting Joe's like slow walk away, and Joe reacting to it while he's on the corner, like whenever they do it. It's awesome.
That sounds really good.
So,
I'm into it.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kyle O'Reilly. Speaking of things that I'm into, this is one of my favorite kinds of wrestling matches, which is just like a technical showcase. I really like the Roddy match whenever we were live, I thought that was a great match. Longer, more spirited. But as far as like just like the Zack Sabre Jr. like 15-minute or less like kind of technical masterpiece, I think Kyle O'Reilly kept up with him fantastically. And this was super fun. But kind of the whole angle to this was Orange on commentary, which is also very funny because one of those guys asked him, like, was like, what's up with the name Orange? Like, why can't you be like Purple Cassidy? He's like, I don't know, ask my mom. She named me.
Well, it's Taz, because Taz is obsessed with the color orange.
Oh, yeah, that is why. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know why he wasn't mad at Zach, though. He's got a bright orange leather jacket.
No, he hates on Zach, too.
They mentioned it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was working while I was watching this, so that's one reason I was confused about the whole thing. But I'm glad that you guys were also confused about the learning tree stuff.
Yes.
Because I thought I missed something while I was working.
No,
but
didn't make any sense
at all.
When Orange comes down, whenever Kyle loses, because he tapped him out, and he, looks like his arm was pretty rough, and but Gabe Kidd and them are out with the what do they call them? The Undisputed Kingdom. God, I fucking hate that name. And they were there. Which Gabe Kidd looked like a superstar. Like he was wearing like these crazy glasses. Like he was carrying himself really well.
Gabe Kidd looked awesome.
Yeah.
And then it turned out like Robbie Eagles and like Shane Hayes were down there. Like there ended up being like 11 guys in the ring by the end of this. But
Zack Sabre Jr.
not knowing what's going on. But
Zack Sabre Jr. is my favorite wrestler to watch, though. This match was really awesome.
No, he's getting ready to take KOR's arm with him on the way out the door. It was a nice little counter into the armbar finish or whatever the case may be. But I'll just, like you said, Gabe Kidd to me was the takeaway. So I kept thinking to myself, okay, I don't understand why he's here, but I'm glad he is here. Gabe Kidd is, a superstar in the making. You just have to, angle his ass in the way to get him up to the top of the card. If you haven't seen him versus Kaito Kiyomiya from Noah, I think it was 3 weeks ago, go out your way and watch it.
Oh, they had a rematch?
No, it's their only match. Kaito Kiyomiya is the current Noah champion.
Versus Gabe Kidd?
Versus Gabe Kidd.
No, they had a match in G1 last year, remember?
Okay, this is a separate match. This happened, like I said, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago.
But what I'm saying is that I remember that was my favorite match of the G1 last year.
So let's just say this is the sequel, and the sequel lives up to the hype.
Oh, yeah, I'm into that. Oh, yeah, I want to watch that.
Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
And then we had the main event, which was Swerve and Ospreay versus Gates of Agony. They end up going over, but instead of celebrating, Ospreay decides he wants to be suave and snake Swerve's title out of his hand as he walks by to hold it up, and Swerve just immediately kicks him in the knee and then gives a motherfucker a kick to the head.
Thank you.
Brutal.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
You stop that shit.
The house call? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, it's called the house call.
Yeah. The house call. Yeah, I gave him the house call. It was awesome.
That was really cool. The ending of that was really cool. But this was a 2018 WWE ass main event. Having those two guys tag with each other against the fucking random ass Gates of Agony.
No, not random. Swerve has the connection, but I agree with what you're saying.
But just to have them tag, but it was worth it for that moment at the end. Like, don't fucking grab my belt, dude.
Okay, you did.
You already did it once.
Yeah, okay, I'll let you slide. The second time, now I gotta fuck you up. I love Will Ospreay, but you gotta fuck him up. Go ahead, Vice.
It's not like he's eating blueberries or anything.
Don't be eating fucking blueberries, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Your boy was licking his fingers.
And now Zach has a favorite tag team. It used to be Legion of Doom. Because it was the Warrior and Hawk 2.
I mean, at least if you're gonna grab my belt, then at least shine it up, give it a little hot tour, and sit on that thing, wipe it down.
Let's get to that 3 count.
Her dad is so disappointed in her.
I'm so glad I don't have kids.
You got some predictions. So, Forbidden Door is coming up this Sunday.
Yeah.
If you guys remember, the last predictions that we did were the funnest predictions that we've ever done. So let's see if we can keep it going, all right?
I don't know about this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't either. Jason, I have all my answers written down.
I see some scribbling over there.
Jason, Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the women's championship belt, world heavyweight title.
Well, shit. I mean, I guess we're starting with my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Block of the week. I'm going with Toni Storm. I think this is going to be a no-brainer, no matter what happens to the build to this match. To me, in my head, there's two big matches in AEW on the women's side you can have for Wembley Stadium. Mercedes, Toni, probably not happening. The other option, Toni, Mariah. How you get there, Toni keeps the championship, Mariah wins the tournament.
Zach, who you got?
I've got Toni Storm. Like I said, I'm compelled with this. I really like Mina. Really like her in Stardom as well, but she's really kind of becoming more of a character. Maybe it's just because she's speaking English and I can understand her, but I think it's definitely going to be Toni Storm.
I am taking Toni Storm too. I guess I could see some fuckery with Mariah May. That's why I'm not making my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock of the week, but I am also taking Toni Storm. Up next, we have the Learning Tree and Jeff Cobb. We're going to go with what Wikipedia says.
Bye.
Learning Tree and Jeff Cobb versus Joe Hook and Shibata. Zach, who do you have?
Oh, this is tough because, I think I got Joe Hook and Shibata because I think Learning Tree is just like more segment oriented. I think Joe Hook and Shibata kind of going after whoever has those trios titles at any given point. That's the reason they're in this mix. So give me Joe Hook, Shibata.
Jason.
I'm going baby faces too. I agree with the line of thought of the Three Bears talking about the trios titles maybe not feel important, but at least they have options to play with. The patriarchy, one hand. This is the other option with Joe Hook and Shibata. Fans seem to like them. If you can only hear what the phone's saying from time to time, I would pop a little more, but neither here nor there. I got the baby faces.
I am leaning the other way, and I am going with the Learning Tree. This is the Learning Tree's first match. What happens if they lose? No, it's Jericho.
So blame it on Jeff Cobb.
Right.
He didn't have strong enough roots.
These tree trunk legs.
Oh, man, all he is roots.
Okay, god damn.
He's the learning stump.
Here we go again, ruining my fucking YouPorn algorithm.
The learning stump is really good.
That's great.
Okay, so up next we have ZSJ, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy in a special singles match. I'll go first here. ZSJ is getting ready to win the G1. He's getting ready to win the heavyweight championship, the IWGP. I'm taking Zack Sabre Jr. Who do you have, Jason?
What you said, boss.
Who do you have, Zach?
Yeah, same. It's really hard to bet against Orange Cassidy, but I think in this situation, it makes sense.
MJF versus Hechicero. Zach, go ahead and go first.
This is my Stone Cold Lead Pipe Block of the week. It is MJF for sure.
MJF dunking on Hechicero with balls in his face. I got MJF.
Jesus Christ. I am also taking MJF.
Horny Thursday.
I don't know how horny it is for Hechicero, but, you know.
Up next, we have the Elite versus, of all the bad tag team names, Scissor Ace.
That's the name they're going with?
They're going with Scissor Ace, which is Max Caster, Anthony Bowens,
and Tanahashi.
Youch. Jason, who you got?
I just want to go against him for the name alone. I'm not saying it's worse than Bang Bang Scissor Gang, but it definitely ranks. I'm going with the Bang Bang Gang. I think Tanahashi takes the fall here.
No, the Elite versus Scissor Ace.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'll take the Elite. Same concept. I think the Elite is just too strong. You got all the champions over there. There's no reason for them to lose. Blood and guts are coming up here in a hot minute. You fill it out. I mean, Tanahashi takes the fall ultimately, which where we're going with it.
Zach, who do you have?
I think the Elite are definitely going to beat Limitless Scissoring in Our Glory.
Oh, no.
Hawk 2.
Spit on that thing. Man, you are wild as hell.
You forgot Ace. Yeah, I'm taking the Elite here. The Acclaimed are not going to pin the Elite. The Acclaimed are not going to beat the Elite 2 times in a row. It just wouldn't make any sense. Up next, we have the ladder match for the vacant TNT title. This match is loaded. Do you guys know who New Japan's representation in this match is?
I think it's El Phantasmo.
That is right. It is El Phantasmo. I'll go first. I have El Phantasmo as the least likely to win.
Thanks for flying over for 15 hours.
I got Leo Rush as the second least. I got Dante Martin as the third. And then Mark Briscoe. And then in the second slot, I have Takeshita. Because I guess if he's going over for the G1, maybe they want to have a guy with a belt over there. But I am going with Jungle Jack Perry as my number one most likely to win this match for the TNT title. Jason.
I think I have the names, but go over them one more time for me, please.
ELP, Leo Rush, Dante Martin, Mark Briscoe, Takeshita, Jungle Jack Perry.
Okay, so we're going to go kind of similar to what you're going with. ELP in the 6th spot, Leo Rush at 5, Dante Martin at 4, Briscoe 3, Takeshita 2, Jack Perry 1.
Zach.
I'm going to go El Phantasmo 6, Dante Martin 5, Leo Rush 4, Takeshita 3, Mark Briscoe 2, Jack Perry 1.
So Jason and I have the exact same, and Zach is just a little different. Up next, we have Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vicaire. Jason, who you got?
Man, I really hope this match is good. I like Stephanie Vicaire a lot. I wish this is someone that they would have had a chance to put on AEW TV before this match actually happened, so other people can celebrate in her glory, if you will. But all that being said, ain't no way Mercedes Moné is losing this match and not coming out here with 2 titles, okay? Like I said, you got 2 big matches on the women's side. If you can't get Tony and Mercedes at Wembley, you make Mercedes as the biggest possible star you can possibly make. I'm taking Mercedes Moné.
Stone Cold Let by Blog of the Week. Mercedes Moné is my pick. Zach, who do you got?
I'm not doing different.
All right, so the Stone Cold Let by Blocks of the Week are out. And then we got what I consider to be, well, Sabre Jr. is also. But the big 3, Moxley versus Naito for the IWGP Championship. Zach, you're up first.
This is interesting. This is kind of my coin flip. Even though it is my coin flip, I just feel like with New Japan, they've been doing a lot of kind of flip-flopping, some, wishy-washy stuff. I really personally want Moxley to keep it going because he hasn't really had like a great reign and been able to have like too many great matches, but I just feel like they're probably going to put it back on Naito. So I'm going to go with my head and not my heart. I'm going to go with Naito.
Jason.
I hear what Three Bears saying. I get it. Moxley's reign hasn't been that great. You could have kept it on Naito, and Naito could have done all these things. I've said that before. But I'm going to go with my head versus my heart. to me, this doesn't make any sense for Jon Moxley to lose the title here. I get it. It's Naito. You know, he's the guy that lost it before. Some guy was like, oh, he didn't take his shirt off. So now he's going to take his shirt off and, you know, he's going to be serious. Look, as the biggest Naito mark on this podcast, that's the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard in my goddamn life. That, you know, let's just call it for what it is. They wanted Moxley to elevate this new title, but they haven't put him in positions to do it. So if you're going to do it, let's fucking do it. Moxley should retain. He needs to retain. Otherwise, what was the whole point of him having the title to begin with?
Does that mean you're rooting for him?
I don't give a fuck who wins about this match. I'm honestly just aggravated with this whole New Japan booking, whatever they're trying to do and ain't doing the shit. You got a whole roster of guys, 3 or 4 guys in the wings, not even called Zack Sabre Jr., that could easily be in this spot, be a young champion. They made Yuma Enzai the champion over in All Japan. He's 24 years old. But now you're going to have Moxley and Naito at the... Man, get the fuck out of here. No, don't care. Don't care.
Jason.
Yeah, if we do any side bets, what's the over-under that Jason takes a shower during this match?
Not likely. I'm going to watch this shit. I'm just going to watch it in protest.
Jason, I love your passion. I disagree though. I think that Naito's going to win. I think they're putting it back on Naito.
Dumbest thing ever.
They put it on Moxley for a while. Is it worse than Evil?
Evil made sense.
Is it worse than Sonata?
Sonata made sense. Make sense of this.
Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi in a match that I just keep forgetting about.
Yeah.
This match is going to fucking rule, man. This match is going to fucking
You won't forget about it after it happens.
Nope. I'm going with Bryan Danielson for the win. He never wins. I can't see them putting Shingo over Danielson at Forbidden Door. Just can't see it. I'm going Danielson. Jason.
Yeah. I got Danielson winning. I think Danielson Swerve is probably going to be the Wembley match. MJF, Ospreay being the opposite, but neither here nor there. I'm just watching Shingo and Moxley on Wednesday night. I felt myself getting pissed off because Shingo should be in the Naito spot if you want to just call it for what it is. Zack Sabre Jr. should be in the Naito spot if you want to call it for what it is and keep it a buck. It's amazing how poorly Shingo has been booked since losing the IWGP Championship.
It wouldn't be Danielson Swerve. It would be the winner of the Owen Cup.
This is an Owen Cup tournament match.
Oh.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
I didn't know that.
Now you're... look at the light bulb turn on.
Zach,
hit it.
You know you done fucked up, right? You know you done said you bought the bottle of beer.
Unprofessional bullshit.
Zach, who do you got?
I got Danielson. I got Danielson to win the whole thing.
And then finally, we have Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. It sounds like we already know who Jason's taking, so I'll let Jason go first.
I'm going to take Swerve to retain. I know it's blasphemy to say these words on a BFR podcast, but I'm going to just call it for what it is. I think this is going to be Swerve's chance to really ascend to be a credible champion the way that, you know, we have been typically looking at AEW champions that have the long reigns, that beat guys. Beating Ospreay would be a huge tip in the cap. However, I will say fuckery should come into play. The Don Callis family was subsequently absent last week after getting shunned the week before. I think that's where the fuckery comes into play. You protect Will Ospreay, but Swerve gets the dub.
Zach, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Swerve. It is not really what I would have thought a couple months ago, but it's 100% where I'm going to be. It's hard to bet against Ospreay, especially when I consider, like, I just said Danielson's taking the whole thing with the Owen Hart Cup, like, and if Ospreay won and then they headlined with Ospreay as champion with Danielson, and that would be like a rematch of like the best match I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
In front of 80,000 people or however many people are jammed on there. But anyway, there's a lot of different ways we can go. I do not think, no matter what kind of middle gymnastics I'm doing, I don't see Will Ospreay in the main event at Wembley Stadium this year for whatever fucking reason. But I also am not mad about Swerve being a strong champion and beating Ospreay because he's been a really great champion. He's been a really great representative for the company. I think, Swerve's great, and him beating Will Ospreay sounds real cool. So let's do it.
I think that Zach almost just talked me out of it. I have Swerve written down, but I'm thinking that, man, not having Ospreay be in the main event at Wembley Stadium just doesn't make any sense, man. When Ospreay wins that belt, he's going to have to hold it for like a year and a half.
Never mind. I was just going to say. I'm going to say. Never mind. I'll let you finish.
I'm going Swerve. I'm going to stick with Swerve. I wrote it down. Sticking with Swerve. So.
Boring.
I wanted to push him to 3 beer. I wanted to. I was just like, let that bag live. Let that bag live.
What were you going to say?
I think you could still do MJF, Ospreay, and do that as the main event, and it still have Danielson and Swerve as the title, title match, but just still have MJF, arguably your biggest star in the company, versus the second arguably biggest star in the company, and main event Wembley that way. You can still go that route. I'm like you. I'm traditional. To me, whoever has the title is the main event, and you figure that shit out, and you go from that point down.
This has been Cornette's Corner.
Well, and all the Samoans are in WWE, so what are we gonna do?
So we have to pour a little out for my man Yano, who lost to Oleg Boltin in the qualifying tournament to get into the G1. Yoshihashi goes over Chase Owens. Callum Newman goes over Yujiro, and TJP goes over Kojima. Did you watch these matches, Jason?
I did. Odin Bowling, all bullshit aside, like I said, to me, that's somebody that I like to keep my eye on going forward. Everybody else, to me, was been pretty much chalk, which I would kind of thought Yoshihashi, like I said, I think, sneakily he could get in this motherfucker, but we shall see. But, no disrespect to Yano. It was a decent match. But
Zach, did you, no disrespect to Yano. I love that.
No,
Zach,
not in the case of the match.
Did you skip these matches? Because these matches were skippable.
I went to the coast this weekend and did not watch any wrestling at all.
Look at you. Look at you.
It's a big world out there. He's living.
I live an hour and a half from the ocean. It's pretty dope.
Pretty nice.
Pretty
nice.
Hour and a half. It's like enough time to do a podcast.
Anything else you guys want to talk about?
You want to talk about NXT at all?
Not really.
Okay.
Ethan Page is doing real work. Ethan Page is awesome in NXT. That's really what I got. I watched the whole thing. But
Fatal 4-Way. I'm down for that.
Yeah, Fatal 4-Way with Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Sean Spears, and Ethan Page. Yeah, that's cool with me.
I really like Javon Evans. That part of my thing whenever I was saying earlier about you're not too young if you got it. I think of Javon Evans. Like, that guy's got it. And, I feel like he's had some losses recently, so I feel like you can just keep that guy up. He's great. Just have him win some matches,
yep,
win a title.
Shit, who you taking the title off of? Trick or Obafemi? Good luck.
Yeah, I mean,
they're both really good. Also, Trick. Here's the thing. I don't think Trick has fantastic charisma and connection to the fans. He's not ready to lead a brand. He's just not that guy. He will be that guy, and I think putting him in this role is getting him to where he can be that guy. Obafemi is really good, and I don't think he really kind of even needs that title.
I guess MVP doesn't watch NXT, huh?
Yeah, I guess not.
Look, even if
Wesley, Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Tony D'Angelo. Right there.
You ain't shit.
Matt Menard is the manager.
Hey, everybody, we got some birthdays this week. Heidenreich, who was one of the earliest victims of the Me Too movement when Michael Cole called him out. Alicia Fox is 30. Oh, Heidenreich's 52. Alicia Fox is 38. Cody Rhodes is 39. Terry Funk, R.I.P., 80. Dax Harwood is 40. God damn, that guy acts like he's 60.
No shit.
Charles Robinson. Charles Robinson is 60. Charles Robinson looks like he's 40. God damn, what is Charles Robinson doing?
He doing that work, baby.
Taking his vitamins and his probiotics and everything.
Why is Bill shaming all these people for their age?
Every accusation is a confession. Scotty Too Hottie from the aforementioned Too Cool is 51, and Joey Janela is 35 years old. Hey, everybody, we know there's tons of podcasts,
35.
so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. For Tender Mahal,
Check.
for Murray the Murray Man Murray,
Check.
for Lucha Chris,
Check.
for Patriot Pat Brewer,
Check.
Brett Jagger,
Check.
for Vice,
Check.
for Two Beer Zach Pullman.
Check.
Welcome back, buddy.
Welcome back, bitch.
Oh, you know, for Jason Cornelius Bell,
Check.
I'm Bill Vagey. Next
Check.
week is July 4th, and we haven't talked about it, so stay tuned to wherever you get your podcast. We might try to throw one up. But, Black Lives Matter.
Check.
Support your local weed dealers.
Check.
Support your local restaurants.
Double
Free
check.
Palestine. Call your
Triple
parents
check.
and
Quadruple
boo
check.
the heel.
Boo!
Shut up, bitches.